What's going on, people, and welcome to some more CARX STREET. So, newest update has come out, so obviously we have a few new cars that we can play with, and I want to try and do a couple more builds, of course. If you haven't seen the video I uploaded yesterday, go check that out. I basically was messing around with the new hot rod that they added to the game, which is pretty hard to get. It's not hard. It's just kind of, there it is here, by the way. It's not hard, it's just time consuming, because the way to get this is like one of those cars that you need collectibles for. So basically you need to drive around the map a lot and try and find all the collectibles until you find 20 of them, and then you can get the hot rod. So I explained it more in detail in yesterday's video, so if you haven't seen the build on this drift hot rod, go check it out. This thing turned out to be absolutely fantastic. Also, as you're watching this video right now, I am live on Twitch. I'm live streaming right now doing this right here, this club, the new club that they've added into the game, with the car that I'm going to be building in today's video. So that's what's happening for today's video. I'm going to be building the car that I'm going to be using for this specific club to try and, you know, win it. So that's what's happening. I'm live on Twitch, twitch.tv/subzmb. Link to that is also down in the description box below. Come hang out. I'm going to be playing this game and probably something else as well afterwards. But like I said, as you're watching this video, I am live. Alright, let's change over to the car that I need to build. I want to try the Yaros. I think the Yaros, the GR Yaros, is very, very cool. And I want to do a Gymkhana build on this thing, because I think it'll be very, very sick to try and build something like that out of it. I don't even know how much power or whatever it has, so we'll try and build it up, obviously, to C6, because that's what the club, there it is. It's a C3. It already looks amazing. I love the wide body cut, and I think it looks very, very sick. It looks pretty much like a rally car, which is exactly what I wanted this thing to look like initially anyway, because obviously it's a rally car. But it is basically a Gymkhana build. Sounds a bit like a bike. Am I wrong? It sounds a little bit like a motorbike. Can I smash to that? Oh, I can. Never mind. It's not the fastest thing in the world. We're gonna obviously have to make it quite a bit faster. Back end is a little hesitant of stepping out. I can flake it until it steps out. We'll try and figure out some stuff with that. Basically, since this is going to be a Gymkhana build, I was initially thinking maybe I should leave it, or I should turn it into a rear-wheel drive. And the reason why I say that is the slower cars. This is what I said in one of my previous streams as well, when I was doing the other club. So this club over here to the left side of the map, they basically introduced two new Gymkhana clubs, and this is one of them. C4, which is the cap for this. You can't do a good C4 build, all-wheel drive. That is actually very, very good for Gymkhana. It just doesn't work. The cars are too underpowered. I ended up picking an Audi TTRS, as you can see it in the picture, and I changed it. I basically had it as an all-wheel drive, obviously, as standard, and I built it up to the top of the class, and I was like, this just doesn't slide. Like, it just seems like it's about to die. Because especially for the Gymkhana events, you need to do, like, donuts and everything, and they need to have a lot of power. Like, see, even this is fully struggling. It doesn't matter how much clutch kicking you do or whatever. Even with worse tires, it still isn't going to do it. It's just too underpowered. So I ended up changing it to rear-wheel drive, and I managed to do the events so much easier. So we'll see as well with this thing, if I all-wheel drive it, if I keep it as an all-wheel drive, can I go and somehow build this thing as a Gymkhana build, but as an all-wheel drive? That is the quest, I guess, for today's video. So this is pretty much what we're looking at here. I'm going to max this thing out pretty much as I possibly can. So I'm going to reduce as much of the weight as I possibly can. Do everything that I need to do. Of course, without going prototype. And just go from there, really. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'll go back to the thingy in a sec. I'll try and get this thing to change gears as quick as possible. And have it so everything's customizable. So again, stock, it's all-wheel drive. So we'll see what this thing is like. I made it nice and lightweight as well. I don't know how much power we can squeeze out of this thing though. That is the big conundrum here. How much power can we get out of this little car? It needs to be a C6, so slap a turbo on it. High revving cams. What we really need is low end torque. So I think engine block is the big one that we need to buy, right? This is what we really need. We needed to have a lot of torque at the low end so we can yeah, we need a lot of torque at the low end so we can have as much of a boost basically in the lower RPM as possible, because that's kind of how I was struggling the last time quite a bit. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there because what I want to do is I want to do this. So I want to go ahead and torque at the lower RPM and torque at the mid RPM is the most important. I think the high RPM, as soon as we do that, it does that, which is fine. Rev limiter, we can lift this up quite a bit. And then turbo pressure we can then change as well, which I don't really want to change. I want to leave this the way it is. Buy that, and then go into body, and then get rid of a bunch more weight. So now it's in CS. Give me a sec. Let me go back to this. There's nothing else that we can really change, is there? Do I actually have to add like a little bit more weight? I mean, I'll add a little bit more weight on. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Okay. I think that is it, right? I think that the setup is fine like that. So 491 horsepower, 984 kilos. I think that should be okay. Hopefully, it's okay. We'll have a look and see what this thing drives like in a second. I need to buy everything else though, but I just wanted to have a look at that and see if we can do that correctly. All right, suspension, really important. So the most expensive without going prototype, because I'm going to do a full prototype build on something very, very soon. Also, you guys can let me know down in the comments below what car you guys want to see be fully prototyped out. Still, I'm missing a few parts, as you can see. Brakes, shocks, and springs is what I'm missing. And then I can go full on prototype build as well for that. As for the wheels themselves, I'm assuming thinner wheels better, right? If I want to do something good here. So 245s on the front. Can we go with like 225s? Oh, sorry, that's for the rear, but it's fine. We can go 225s. 225s is the thinnest. Like, I want as much slip as possible. I mean, that is kind of the goal for this Gymkhana build, right? And we're kind of struggling a little bit, or we did struggle a little bit before. But, I mean, this should have a little bit more power. I'll come back and adjust all of the dampers and everything, all of that, in a second. Interesting. I'm gonna turn off assist, actually. That's gonna make it even better. Go to the experimental assist on this thing. Here, where is it? Boom. There. Yes, that is... Oh, it died. No, this is good. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this already. Changes directions very, very quickly. This is great. But this is on sports tires. Yeah, I will have to adjust my settings a little bit. But apart from that, I actually really, really like the way this drives. This is the one thing that we didn't have when I was playing with the Audi TT. This thing, that thing struggled. Not this guy, sorry. The Audi struggled so much to break traction. This thing just kind of does it very, very easy. This is so much better. This is kind of the power and weight that we really need, especially the power. Okay, second gear, you can still kind of stall it in second. I'm tempted to make my gear ratios just a tiny, tiny bit longer. Or at least first. Make first gear just a tiny bit longer. Because in second, I'm already doing like 130 kilometers an hour. And first is a 74? Yeah. This is so nice to drive now. So much better, like I said, than the Audi. The very underpowered Audi. I like this. I like it a lot. Okay, cool. Let's go into the styling because we need to do as many things as possible to this car. Because we need to have the styling option really, really high. I mean, it's already really high up. It's already at 1,100, actually. So we don't really have to really worry about that. What? What in the world? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. It looks so ridiculous. What? I mean, this is already wide-bodied and crazy looking, but this... What I kind of like is the front end gets rid of all the extra, like, weird aero stuff that's going on. And it makes it look more like the standard car. Except stupidly wide. So much wider. I'm putting that on. It's 100k as well for that. This is definitely one of those builds where kind of logic goes out the window. I'm not a big fan of doing loads of stuff to cars like this because I think it's just a bit dumb. But it is quite fun to try and absolutely not. What? No, I don't like that. I'm putting the rally wing back on. Full cage, 100%. Here's the tire customization, something new that they've added into the game. I'm not putting white walls on it. These look sick. I actually kind of like these. Massive text on the wheels. That's cool. Alright, as for the wheels, what can we put on for the wheels? I'm not going to put turbofan wheels on. Stock wheels are a bit boring. Any drift spec wheels? Ooh, I kind of like these. Super dished. 5 spokes, they actually look really good. Or we can go with 1552s. Or whatever, replicas of 1552s. I'm a fan of the dish. I think 5 spokes look good on this. I'm doing that. I don't care. Paint job. Do I want this thing to be one solid color or do I want to go ahead and download the livery? Because I mean we can do either or. I kind of like it just the one standard color. I think once we start going into the liveries. Oh, I kind of like it. I actually kind of like it a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. This looks great. There's a bunch of different designs. The Falcon. But that first one already is looking incredible. What is that image, by the way? Look at it, the thumbnail image for that. I kind of like this. I'm keeping this on. Yes, please. Definitely doing that. Paint job. Let's paint the spoiler. Because this thing does not have a color, so we can paint it in whatever color that we really want. Do I want to paint it like a purple color? Definitely not matte as well, so let's get rid of matte. Pearlescent. Ew. Not chrome. Is it just metallic? So it matches the wing. Boom. Putting that on. That looks a bit better. Cage, I don't really care about the cage. I definitely want the glass to be clear because it looks sick. We could change tint on the headlights, which I'm not going to do. Fog lights. Wait, fog lights? Oh, that's cool. And then rims, I think are fine in just the white color. Can I just paint them like a matte white? Wait, no, go back. Can I just paint them just a matte white? So there you go. Boom. Sorted. Happy with that. Everything else, suspension arms. I can't really see them too much with this car, so okay. Just snap my camera, I guess, somewhere else. Just paint them purple as well with the same with the rest of the car. Spraying something bright, maybe red, to match with the brake calipers. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep that. We'll keep that the way it is. Styling. There you go. Put one of these on. It's already got a hydro. Let's get a taller hydro. Shifter's fine. Left seat's fine. Right seat's fine. Brakes, we can go with something drilled, I guess. Underglow, don't really care. Backfire, don't care. License plate, get rid because it just looks cleaner. Fog light color or front light color, it's fine. Okay, cool. We're done. that is pretty much it with this build. Let's register it into that event and we'll do one of them and just to see if this thing is good or not. I also need to tune out. I completely forgot. Oh, I'm kind of liking that. Okay, I'm kind of liking the way this thing drives. The diff setup needs to be changed slightly. It looks great though, doesn't it? It looks like a little rally car. I love it. Oh, there's no clipping. That's perfect. I'm kind of happy with the stance of this thing. Unless I want to like raise it just slightly, but I'm actually quite happy with the way this thing is looking with the stance. Okay, cool. Let's do last few touch-ups on this thing. Get my suspension in order, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm done. Made my gear ratios a little bit longer. As you can see, my first gear is now going up to 80-something kilometers an hour. This feels strange to drive like this, because I don't usually do it. First of all, it's always drive so super snappy. I can change my... I can change my tires. To slightly worse tires. Go 3+. This is a lot less snappy now. I guess second gear is maybe a little bit more useful. This is a lot softer. There's so much smoke. There is so much smoke. For God's sake. Alright, let's enter. Where is this stupid thing? I am so blind. Okay, there it is. Join. Bosh. We're in. Okay. I don't know what these will look like. But we'll see. Because the other ones, obviously, we had to drive around for whatever reason, like somewhere like close to the mountain pass, like to the left. It's a bit weird of a place. This one seems more of like in the city type area. Or like an industrial state. Leaving it first. This is so much better than the Audi, man. It's just the extra power that really helps it a lot. Oh, it's too low. I'm stuck! Ah! Oh no. I thought I could get the front end in. Ah! Yeah. I might put the sports tires back on. Clean. Oh, that was actually quite sick. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually really good. The car is great for it. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect this thing to be like similar to the Audi. I definitely expected this thing to be, you know, to have more power and actually be much better to drive. And it actually is. It's a massive difference between this and the Audi. Again, like I said, the Audi was so difficult to do, like, the Gymkhana stuff with it being all-wheel drive. Because I just wasn't able to put the power down. Or sorry, this is the other way around. I wasn't able to get the tires to slip from underneath me. I was just putting the power down. And it doesn't matter what settings I changed, it just wasn't having it. So I think this is great for what I built it for. It does fat slides, all-wheel drive. Just be smooth with my control, and I should be fine. Look at that. That's so sick. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop playing with this thing because I want to play with it a little bit more on my stream and do the rest of the that Gymkhana event. I really hope that the next update we get rally. I hope we get some rally tires next and some new rally club stuff. Because genuinely, there's so much like open area, like in the fields and everything. It would be really, really fun to do that. So I really hope that they add some rally stuff, because genuinely I think it'd be just super, super fun. Again, we have all the open area to do it. All we really need is just the rally tires. So we have so much customization when it comes to the suspension and everything. I mean, like I said, all we need is the tires, and it's going to change the game drastically. We have even more open world like aspect of it instead of just having to use the actual road itself. But yeah, this is what our Yaros looks like. I think it looks fantastic. It looks brilliant. It drives great. It's my very first Gymkhana build. I like it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, of course. And again, go check this out a little bit more on my Twitch, where I'm going to be rallying the hell out of this thing, or Gymkhanaing the hell out of this thing in that club. Alright, cool. See you guys later.